Hello and welcome to another episode of the Already Everything podcast. Today, I'm in Toowoomba. Is it the Rockville?
Rockville, yep.
Rockville,
Yep.
there you go. With Tricia Chant, who runs a little thing called the Leyburn Sprints, which you might have heard of. And if you don't know about it, well, you'll certainly know it a lot more by the end of this episode. Tricia, thank you for making time to fit me into your schedule a week before you start running this massive event.
That's okay. Thanks for coming up.
Now, we got the pronunciation of this right last time around. It's absolutely not Leyburn. It is definitely Leyburn.
Yes, 100%.
Would you like to share a little bit about what this event is?
Okay, so where do I start? So right now what we do once a year in August, we do a little event called the Historic Leyburn Sprints. This is our 30th year that we're running it this year. And it's a sprint event, so it's around the houses of Leyburn. So if you haven't been to Leyburn before, it's very small. It's got one pub, one shop, one school, two churches. And we actually close down the streets and we run our cars through the streets of Leyburn. But to go right back to say, why did we start the Leyburn Sprints in the first place? Go right back to World War II. And back then, it's an area outside Leyburn, about 5 kilometres north, where the American Air Force actually established an Air Force base there. So they were doing lots of reconnaissance work and gathering data and that from behind enemy lines. They had a thing called the Special Z Force that operated out of there. So that operated for a few years. And then, of course, once World War II ended, that airstrip was then sat idle. So that obviously 1945, so we fast forward to 1949. Back then in Australia, the Australian Grand Prix, which is what we know as Formula One now, right? So the Australian Grand Prix actually had a history of where every state got a turn to actually hold the Australian Grand Prix. So Queensland's turn came up in 1949, and it was actually the first time that they had run the Grand Prix after the war. So a car club in Brisbane was tasked with trying to find a location. And long story short, they decided, because they knew there's a bunch of disused airfields around because of the end of World War II. So they did that as a focus point, looking around for the different airfields, trying to find something that suited. So they picked on us, but they also picked on Lowood. So if you know Lowood, it's halfway between Toowoomba and Brisbane. And that was actually their first choice. Leyburn was their second choice. But there's actually quite a strong church congregation in Lowood at the time, and they had a problem with running a motor racing event on a Sunday. So they ditched Lowood and they came back to Leyburn. So 18th of September 1949, around 30,000 people descended on Leyburn, and the Australian Grand Prix was held. And so here we are. So here we are now celebrating that Grand Prix heritage.
That's a pretty wild story all by itself, isn't it?
It is.
When you actually stop and think about it. And the fact that they were deeply offended by the idea of motor racing on a Sunday.
Yes.
But, that was...
That's it was times back then, yeah.
It was very, very disrespectful to be doing those sorts of shenanigans.
Yeah, the seventh day for day of rest.
Yeah, no, that's the day of noise. Wow, okay. See, I didn't even know that part of the story.
Yeah.
And I think this is the really fascinating part about this event is it has pretty extraordinary heritage and it pulls some pretty interesting competitors and vehicles.
It does. So this year, the oldest car that we've got competing is a 1924 Amel car. But they go all the way up to, we'll accept late model cars if it's got an appeal to the competitor, to the spectators, I should say. So we are primarily a historic event. So we have a range of priorities in terms of the kind of cars we want to see. So obviously the more classics, things like the XY Falcons, all that sort of stuff, is what we want to see because that's historic racing, right? But if someone's got a 2026 Ferrari and they want to enter it, we're not going to stop them because that's something you don't see every day. But yeah, we do have our priority list, and unfortunately for people, but it's good for us, we're very popular, we're heavily oversubscribed, and we need to get our entry list back to a manageable level. So whilst we accept everyone's entries, it's not like a first in, first dressed basis. We accept all the entries, we will sift through them, and unfortunately some don't make the cut, and it's more those later model cars. If someone's got a AU Falcon or something like that, most likely that's not going to get in because we have the priority list. And we have to have a cap on the amount of competitors. Two main reasons. One is so that each competitor gets enough runs on the track. Otherwise, people start to go, well, I'm paying this money and I'm hardly getting any track time, that sort of thing. So obviously starts to generate a bit of bad reputation. The other side of it, of course, is pure space. So all of our pits, they're heaving at the moment. And we can't, to accept more cars, it would just be catastrophic in terms of being able to fit everyone in and manage them all.
You're a victim of your own success there, aren't you?
We are, yeah, exactly. It's definitely that definition for sure.
But I guess the nice part is then having access to a lot of wonderful things that want to be there.
Yes.
That would certainly get tricky as you start running out of spots.
Yes.
And going, which
I'd
one
like that
is there?
one and I'd like that one.
Is there a committee to make those choices?
Yeah, there is. We obviously have a volunteer committee, which I'm the president of, but we then have a little subcommittee that actually does the
Oh, fantastic. So you also can't be held personally liable for favouritism?
No, that's right. No, well, they're all members of the committee, but, there's 14 of us in the committee, right? I don't need 14 people having their opinion because we'd be there for a month of Sundays trying to stay.
Absolutely.
So there's only like 3 or 4 people that actually sit down and go through the whole list. We get all the photos, so all the competitors must send us photos of their car. They must, and if they get accepted, they must present that car as it was in the photo. So not, here's my nice Falcon, and when I actually turn up to Leyburn, there's 3 different coloured panels on it. So it's got to be the way it's presented in the photo.
As it's seen.
Yeah. So, because particularly if someone's sent a photo in that's a few years old and things have changed in the car since then. But yeah, so that's how it works. So, but a lot of competitors now understand that, this is what we're looking for. Unfortunately, we do have to break a few hearts, but anyway,
That's all right. They can still come and watch.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
Can still come and be a part of the fun. Because and just to get slightly sidetracked, which I like doing, the vehicle we're sitting in front of is not inconsequential.
No.
In terms of Australian motorsport.
Yes.
Do you mind, again, for people who might not be watching but might just be listening, do you want to explain what we're sitting next to here?
Yeah, so we're sitting actually next to a tribute of Alan Moffat, XY. Yeah, so it was built by my husband for a client down the Lockyer Valley. And so it's got, obviously not this car itself, but the car in general has got a lot of motor racing history and Bathurst and all that sort of thing. So, yeah.
So, that's a real weapon.
Yeah, very much so.
Sort of walked in and went, whoa.
Yeah, so she's not entering in the sprints, she's not racing, but it's going to be out there, and I'll do a couple of laps around the track, but it won't actually be racing.
Because it also seems, this is a nice part, I got here a little bit early and got the tour and got to see your race car.
Yeah.
So
I've got to get that ready for next weekend too.
Are you joking? It's currently.
Well, I don't. Jamie has to.
Oh my God, he's got some work to do. It's currently got a Bluetooth engine. There's a lot of work to happen there, but you're pretty handy behind the wheel yourself.
Oh well, I don't go too bad.
Mate, that car does not look like it's been driven gently. That
No.
looks like it has been driven in anger. That is a race car that tells some stories.
It does, yeah.
Your husband was telling tales and tells me that you've done a few things.
Yeah, I've just so I race it in the Australian Trans Am Championship. So I think we're going on our 12th year this year. Haven't actually done as many races this year. We have pulled the engine out and given it a freshen up. But I have won the championship twice. So 2019, 2021, I think it was. So we got the 5 litre class and the outright class. I've run a 5 litre championship twice, and I'm the only female. I always joke that I'm the token female, but here I am.
Look, but that is also, there's motor racing, and then that's a whole other thing with what you're doing.
Yes. It's pretty full on.
Because that's a pretty special car as well.
Yes, yep.
And then to be able to maintain, look
Yep.
after,
Yep.
get that around, that's full commitment.
It is. Costs a lot of money too.
I was going to say, this is not just a hobby. Like, this is full-blown obsession.
Yeah, that's right.
That is full-blown obsession.
That's why I've got to work hard. Keep me in the lifestyle I'm accustomed to.
Of, toys. This whole thing that you've taken on, like, you got to give us a little bit of context about how you end up, racing Mustangs and.
Do you really want to know?
I actually really do. I really do.
Well, long story short of the Mustang, my dad and Jamie bought it behind my back and said, here you go, here's a Mustang, you're going to race it. But go back a long time ago. Obviously, I grew up in a family that enjoyed motor racing. Dad used to motor race well and truly before I was born. He was a trial bike champion for Queensland back in the late 60s. He was doing rallying late 60s, early 70s. So he's always had that motorsport bug. He then sort of gave it up because I got 4 older brothers. So the family come along, couldn't spend money on cars and motorbikes, had to go and do the family thing. And then I'm actually a little bit younger than the other boys. And so back in but I always grew up, liking watching motorsport, going to Bathurst, all that sort of thing. Back in the mid-1990s, Dad got back into the motorsport thing. He had a Mark II Cortina GT, and so I shared the drive with him for a few years. And then Jamie and I got together. That was back 24 years ago. And Jamie said to me, before that, when I was going to university, so grew up at Leyburn, coming to Toowoomba to go into uni, I bought myself a little Mark I 4-door Escort. It was a bit of a hunk of junk, really. When I bought it, it was a bit bashed and a bit, whatever. But it got me to and from uni. Always loved little Escort. And then when Jamie and I got together, he said, if you could have any race car, what would you have? And I said a Mark I Escort 2-door. So I just happened to know where one was, out at the farm, that my dad had bought for 200 small bales of hay. So I rang Dad. I said, you going to do anything with that Escort? He goes, probably not. I said, can I have it? He goes, yeah, righto. So Jamie and I went out with the car trailer, picked it up, dragged it back to Toowoomba and built it up. So then I raced that for a number of years, and that was just in the sprints and hill climbs and things like that, and it was out at Morgan Park at Warwick with super sprints and whatever. So I hadn't actually raced door handle racing. It was all against the clock sort of stuff. So then, back 11, 12 years ago, we bought the Mustang and threw ourselves an Australian Trans Am. So I went from a 4-cylinder, where I was just doing sprints and whatnot, to a V8 and racing door handle. We went to Lakeside for the very first outing, and Lakeside can bite hard, very hard, if you don't know what you're doing. And before I went on the track, my seat time consisted of driving it off the trailer into the pit bay. Mm. So then I went out on the track on Friday morning, I think it was, for some practice. And all I did was look in the mirror 98% of the time to make sure I wasn't blocking anyone, and I was just hopeless. And I got out of the car and I said, Jamie, I don't know if I can do this. And then later on that afternoon, got back in the car. There's a lot less people on track. I felt a lot more comfortable. So I went out, did some more practice, and did some pretty good times. So I always joke about the baptism of fire at Lakeside. Yeah,
that's a pretty brutal place to start. Of all the places you could go for a nice gentle entry, that's not it.
I know, but then we joked about the very next race meeting was Sydney Motorsport Park.
Oh yeah, good. Yeah, nice. That's also a nice gentle. Turn one there is very casual.
Yeah, not. And we had to do practice with the touring car master boys. Mm. Yeah, so we were
they're pretty leisurely too, aren't they?
I had John Bow chasing me down. I'm like, oh my God, just go around me, please.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just seriously overtake, please. Wow. Mm. But see, what a fun way to sort of get into all these things, but then also carry this forward. Because if I recall correctly, did your folks
started? Yes.
So this is a family.
Very much so. So it started, basically 1995. The first event was 1996, but the whole idea started in 1995. And it was actually started as a collaboration between the HRCC, which is Historic Racing Car Club of Queensland. So they had a couple of representatives from the club. They knew about the history of Leyburn with the Grand Prix and whatever. They drove up to Leyburn and they went to the pub and they said, is there someone around here we can talk to that's into their motorsports? And they said, yeah, Mike Collins. So I put him in touch with Dad and pitched the idea to him. He loved it, and so they were originally looking at seeing if they could do a racing at the old racetrack, but they couldn't because the racetrack by then was actually split into 4 sections, and fenced off into personal properties.
Bugger.
So and also the asphalt was so far gone. It would have taken hundreds of thousands of dollars to even get it to a point where you could actually do something, So then, obviously, that was out of the question. So they thought, well, how about we do a race around a street style event? So had to have a number of public meetings to get everyone's approval. Everyone in town was behind it. So that's how it started. 1996 was the first actual event.
And so it had real community support.
Yeah, it did.
From the get-go. It sort of didn't have what we usually see with any sort of...
Oh,
motor
you know,
racing,
every
anything.
now, like every year there's one or two.
Couple of grumbles.
Always a couple of grumbles, but to be honest, on
But
the whole, broadly speaking, absolutely, it's very, very well supported.
That's pretty
Yeah.
special by
Yeah.
itself, isn't it?
So, but in the better thing is, I think this is one of the reasons too that it is so well supported by the township is that HRCC were involved for the first 4 years. So, because their whole idea was to do 96 up to 99, in 1999 being the 50th anniversary of the Grand Prix. So that was their plan, just to run it for 4 years and then do a big hoo-ha thing for 1999. So we did that, and then we it was too good to just drop, right?
Everyone's like, this is a good time.
Yeah,
Coming back next year?
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
Like,
but so it was agreed that actually Leyburn Town would take over the whole running. So prior to that, the HRCC sort of ran the motor racing part of it, and the Leyburn community ran the food stalls and all that sort of stuff. But what we did was we became an incorporated association ourselves with Motorsport Australia, which allowed us, which was CAMS back then, but anyway, which allowed us to actually run the event under our own steam. So so we took over in 2000, and I think that's part of it too. Like, you know, potentially now, if we were still doing it the same way we were doing it back then with HRCC coming in, I don't know if the town would be as receptive to going to 30 years, because it's a bit like this big boys from Brisbane coming in, taking over.
Telling us how to do it.
Yeah, tell us how to do it, you know.
Yeah.
So I think because of the fact that it is community-run event and we're all community members, that I think that's why it's kept its legs going, you know, like it has.
Makes all the difference though, doesn't it? If people really care.
Yeah.
And if they're bought into it and if they're part of it, because you can also sort of soften a few people who probably aren't as excited.
Exactly.
And sort of go, come on.
We've had people in the past that really hated the event and all of a sudden turn around and love it. So.
Yeah. And then they come. You just get them to come. You're like, just, you know, won't make any promises.
Here's a ticket.
Just come and have a look.
Have a beer. Here's a ticket.
Yeah, come and have a beer. And then you have a beer and you're like, this is the best day ever.
Yeah, have two.
I really love how it has become such an iconic thing with such a strong community backing, because as we sit here in 2026, you know, tracks closing and, you know, proposed speedway getting, you know, I don't think that'll get off the ground. The one sort of North Brisbane, and we lost Archfield Speedway a couple of years ago. Like stuff just, people don't like loud noises.
No,
and anything.
That's right. But also that and also motorsport's expensive, you know.
Motorsport's so expensive.
Yeah. So we're still offering, years ago actually, because off the back of the Leyburn Sprints, there was a number of other sprints that started up. So you got Pittsworth, you had Murwillumbah, you had Gatton, you had, I can't remember the name, but near Kingaroy, and all those are all going. They had them up at Maryborough, all that sort of thing. And Pittsworth is still going, but all the others sort of fell by the wayside. And there's various different reasons, but money comes into it. People can't do everything all the time. So years ago, we were actually probably considered one of the more expensive street sprints around, but we're actually now probably pretty well on a par, if not cheapest. So
wow.
Yeah, so we never have a problem getting people.
No, and I mean, you've been an iconic event for so long. I think that's the amazing part.
Yeah.
And you've been drawing crowds and people come and camp and spend you know, days out there.
That's it. And I think that's a couple of things there. One is that the fact that we're celebrating history. So we're not just a street sprint. We're there for a reason, like we're celebrating that history. And also that we closed down the entire town.
Which is amazing.
Yeah, so I think, you know, all these other sprints have been great, and I've been to them. You know, I've been to Murwillumbah, and I've been to, you know, Pittsworth. Pittsworth is great, and I've been to all the other ones, and Oakey Sprints is another one. And, like, I'll pick on Oakey, and the guys are great, Ben and all them out there, work with them, they're really good. But I just think it lacked what Leyburn had, because I think one of the things, the issues was they took over the industrial area. So the rest of Oakey, it was not like, well, that's just over the industrial area.
Just you know what I mean? Like usual.
Everything else was business as usual. Yeah. Whereas Leyburn, it's a whole town.
Yeah, the whole town.
You can't miss it. People say to me, where do I go when I get to Leyburn? How do I find the gate? I said, just drive in, you'll find it.
You won't miss it.
No, you can't miss it.
It's the whole thing. It's really special, and I really think that this is something that, you know, I think is just worth understanding a little bit more about how the town has got behind it. And I even saw on the shirt there, you know, you got Southern Downs and Granite Belt.
Yeah.
Like that's That's proper.
Events
like,
Queensland.
Events Queensland. Like this is not just, you've won hearts and minds of the town, but you've also convinced, people in positions of authority that this is a good thing to be doing.
Well,
which
I
is
mean,
also pretty impressive.
that's right. We haven't had this level of support. I mean, we have great level of support, but every year just gets bigger and bigger, and this year is by far the best. I mean, Southern Downs Regional Council, they've sponsored us to $20,000. Events Queensland, we're now on a multi-year deal with them, so it's $40,000 this year that they've given to us. And then we have our bunch of sponsors. Like we have all our platinum sponsors, and then gold, silver, and bronze. And we've had more sponsors than ever this year. So it just, and people coming to us as well. So it's not, on the committee, we're all volunteers, right? And there's not really any of us that have a strong point of doing a hustle, trying to get sponsors. It's not my strong point, and pretty well not anyone else's strong point on the committee. So it's always been a little bit of an issue. And we've had our ongoing sponsors year on year on year. I mean, JMC, my husband's business, we sponsor. Alan Greenbury, he's been a sponsor for a long time. There's all those ones that have stuck by us and been loyal. But now they're starting to come to us. So we've had 3 or 4 this year that have been out of the blue. Never would have considered them to be a sponsor. Thought about it, they've approached us.
And see, that's it, because you've created a proper destination event.
Yeah.
And you've created something that is, a cultural icon. It's a good time. It's a family-friendly activity, and it is also celebrating like classic Australian motorsport heritage.
Yes. Yeah.
And again, sharing these stories and sharing the stories of these beautiful cars and just getting it all in front of people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, that's the thing too. Like, it's not just the motorsport, right? I mean, you can go there and sit there and watch the racing all day. Absolutely, go for it. You can sit there all day and watch the racing, but if you want to, there's plenty of other things to do too. You've got the market stalls, you've got vintage vans, you've got show and shine. We've got an art exhibition going on. We've got market. I think I said market stalls. There's obviously all food vendors and drink vendors. There's bars. There's live music at night time. There's so much going on. Not just sitting there looking at the cars go around the street.
Isn't that amazing? It'd be shoulder to shoulder.
We've got live stream going on.
Oh, yeah.
Big screen TVs. Yeah.
Oh.
We've got Shannon's big rig there this year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, with all their simulators.
I've seen that. I haven't seen it in person. I've just seen the
photos.
Yeah, no,
I saw it in person a few weeks ago down at Cooley Rocks On.
Oh, how
that
good.
That
was its first weekend.
Yeah, it
wasn't
was. Yep. So I got the private tour and went around and it was great.
Oh, that's pretty legit.
Yep. Because Shannon's are one of our platinum sponsors. So
mate, they do good things.
They do.
They really get in and support. Yeah.
Yep.
Support motorsport.
Yeah, exactly.
Which always makes me.
They should. That's where they get their money from.
That
all those cars that people need to get insured.
All those silly things that we have to keep looking after. You've been involved in this for a long time. What sort of surprised you about it as you've sort of watched this event evolve?
Just how much people keep coming back, I think. Because, it's now, for a lot of them, it's their pilgrimage. And I'll probably compare it to Bathurst. People make the pilgrimage to Bathurst every year. Well, people are doing the same thing for Leyburn. And I also get the comments too, just on the side, that, we pride ourselves on being quite a cost-effective weekend out for families. You go to Bathurst, yes, it's fantastic. I've been there a few times myself. It's expensive. You want to go and buy a beer. You want to buy a hamburger, you'd be lucky to find a hamburger under $20. We have steak sandwiches for $9. Our beers are $7.
Oh, look out.
Line me up every day,
No wonder people come in early, even when they're not supposed to.
But we pride ourselves on being cost effective, but the people just keep coming back every year, and it's like a family thing for them. They feel close to home, like they feel Leyburn's their second home. They come early just to come and volunteer. So I've got spectators and competitors come early in the week just so they can come help set up. They don't have to. They
just want to help. They're like, this is the best week ever.
Yeah. Can I help?
What can I do? I'm sitting here anyway.
Yep. Exactly.
That is surprising. The other one I had to ask is, you said there's an art exhibition.
Yes.
Talk me through that.
Okay.
This is not what I expected to hear as we chatted today.
Well, it was a little bit of an idea that we had a few months ago, and it grew legs. So we thought I wanted to do something that would celebrate the 30 years. And I had thoughts of, getting maybe the kids from Leyburn State School involved, doing some paintings and some drawings about what Leyburn Sprints means to them, all that sort of thing, which is we've done. But then we sort of grew legs more and said, well, maybe we could do something to celebrate the 30 years of the sprints, and a bit of a, I don't know, I'm no museum creator, right? And I haven't got a design bone in my body, but some kind of nice little display with some artifacts and photos and all that sort of thing. So yeah, so anyway, Rachel, who's on our committee, she's a whiz at getting funding, grant funding. We put a little application into the Southern Downs Regional Council through the Regional Arts Development Fund. So we got a few $1,000 grant. So we put that towards a professional museum curator, not me, who'd just go and whack a few things together, and from Toowoomba, Evan Hollis, and they put together this big exhibition. So it ran not last weekend before at the CWA Hall, and it's going to be now shifted into a marquee at the back in the backyard of the pub. So it'll be there all weekend for people to come and have a look at.
Again, that's pretty wild.
It is.
But what a fun thing to be winding in. But also people who might not have even considered, and
that's right.
You're just opening it up to more and more.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And that, like this, I always say we try to do something to improve the event every year. And I think we've really outdone ourselves this year. And now I'm going to go to our 31st year next year and go, well, what are we going to do to top that? But we'll think of something.
That's part of the fun, though, isn't it?
Yeah, and stress, but fun and stress.
Fun and the stress.
Yeah, that's why they invented beer, so that's all good.
Yeah, you'd need a few of those to get through the week. It's a good thing they're only $7. I was sort of asking, how long the bump in takes, and I was actually sort of, when we were chatting earlier, I was surprised at how quick you pull the thing together. That actually, you look at how I accidentally almost called it indie, but when the racing on the Gold Coast, you're 6 weeks out, 8 weeks out, and all
the disruptions
and the things all start.
All the road shuts. And
whereas you guys were like, I do it in a day. We're going to stretch it out and do it in 2 days. Like that. Like talk me through your next week. It's currently, what day of the week is it now? It's Wednesday.
Yes.
So Wednesday next week is your official bump in. So we are T-minus.
Yep, 8 o'clock in the morning. Everyone gathers at my shed. Which is conveniently located opposite the pub. You'd be happy to know that.
That is.
So we all get there for a pre-start debrief.
Very good.
And then we all go on our way. But so Wednesday will basically be all our tyre barriers. So we have stacks of tyre barriers already made up that we store at a council compound, and we bring them down. We sit them up along the street edges. So plus we do other things like we got flag lines. So I will say actually we're doing a little bit of work on Tuesday, but we actually have a really good support from, this is a bit of a side, but really good support from the Warwick work camp. So they're actually female prisoners that come from the jails to Warwick for a period of time, 4 to 6 weeks or whatever it might be, so that they go out and work in the community and help in the community. So we get a lot of support from them. So they're coming out, I think it's 5 days all up in total, they're coming out to help us with setup and pull down, and also some work over the actual weekend. So that's really, really handy. So we've got all the flag lines we need to put out. We've got covers on grandstands, VIP area to set up, place grandstands around the town, put out our hay bales, run all the timing, although we have a timing people from Morgan Park Raceway. They come in and set up the timing. We've got the live streaming guys coming in to set up all the TVs and the live stream. We've got the PA guys coming in and setting up all the speakers for all the announcements and that through over the weekend. It's pretty big. All the community groups are putting together their little bits and pieces. We got quite a number of community groups that do a lot of jobs for us over the weekend, including running the campgrounds for us, running the rubbish removal, a couple of food tents, running the gates for us, running the courtesy bus for us, all sorts of stuff. But so this time next week, I'm glad we're doing it this week, not next week. I wouldn't have time.
I was impressed that you were able to make time.
Well, I have been out at Leyburn. I went at Leyburn first thing yesterday morning, worked all day, cleaned the shed last night because it's filthy. So I did that, stayed last night, worked this morning and run back in here to meet you.
Zipped back here.
Yeah.
Far out. And then in terms of the actual race weekend, talk me through. So you've got how many competitors? What's the actual...
Okay, so we started out as over 280, which we then had to review, and unfortunately some had to miss out. We got back to 246. My comfortable amount's probably about 220. So that's in terms of the space we've got, and also ensuring maximum runs on the bitumen. But we got it back to 246. We have had a few dropouts, so I think we're back to about 240. So, which is not great for them, but for
terrible
me,
for
it's
those
terrible for
poor
them. But for me, I'm like,
competitors. But you probably do need to oversell just a little bit for
well, no, we don't really.
reasons.
But you know, like if we got back to that 220 or something, that'd be perfect. But yeah, I don't want anyone to have an issue. That's why they can't come.
Absolutely
But it
not.
also does help a little bit for our planning.
Give you a dash of breathing room
Yeah.
for those inevitable things
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
that come along. And in terms of cars that you've sort of noted coming through the entries, anything that sticks out for you that you've sort of gone, oh, look forward to seeing that?
I really like. I think it's just cool having those really old school cars. You know, the 1920s, 1930s. We've got 3 original 1949 cars that actually raced at the Grand Prix. 2 of them are racing. 1 will just be on display.
Bloody hell.
But yeah, so 3 of them. So 2 is actually from a local guy at Cambodia, which is obviously not very far from here, and another guy from the Sunshine Coast. So yeah, so it's fantastic to have those.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
The cars that are actually racing there
Yep.
that have been
Yep.
preserved.
And 2 of them are racing at Leyburn, and 1 will be on display. Yeah.
That's actually phenomenal. What a bunch of legends.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
keeping these things.
Yeah, and there's so much like a range. Like I mean, I love the Falcons and Mustangs, obviously. So I always love seeing them. I mean, there's a really nice blue Mustang to watch out for. Just saying, looks pretty good. And
Guys are right.
and open wheelers. I mean, they put out some slick times, and it's really fun to watch. Particularly the top sort of 5 or 6 outright guys just going hell for leather. They are really good together. They've got really good camaraderie between each other. But, they all want to win, so it's pretty fun.
They give it a hell.
Yeah.
And because this is a big one, this is your 30th anniversary of the running of Leyburn Sprints. So you told me you got a couple of people coming, a couple of drivers that people might know.
Yes. Yeah, so we Dick Johnson's first one. He's supported us hugely over the years. Like in our 30 years, I'd reckon he's probably been there a good 20 times.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, so...
That's
commitment. It is commitment. He's been very, very huge supporter of us. We've got Colin Bond coming. It's probably his 3rd or 4th time maybe. John Bowes back for his 2nd time. We've got Kevin Bartlett. He's probably been a dozen times probably. And then we've got some others coming through. We've got Andrew Medicki bringing his Mobile Sierra and his Group A Mercedes. We have Bat Romano. He was going to bring his Kaditcha. Unfortunately, he put it into the wall at Queensland Raceway a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
At the Queensland Classic. So unfortunately, but he's still coming. And then we have Steve Masterton. We've got Charlie O'Brien. We've got Bruce Allison. So Bruce Allison obviously has big ties with the Formula One and stuff like that. He's raced Formula One and Formula 5000, things like that. And yeah, a few others. So there's about 10 or 11 coming, which is really great for us. And they're all coming for the Thursday night function that we're having, which you're probably going to ask me about soon. And then be there over the weekend as well.
Well, I think that makes a perfect opportunity to roll into it. I didn't know if that was Secret Squirrel or not, but please share with me all these shenanigans.
Sorry, Thursday night, there's a place called Ellengowan Woolshed, about 10 k's north of Leyburn on the Toowoomba-Carrara Road. It was actually just off it, but towards Toowoomba. So for those who are into rugby league would know Shane Webke. He's obviously a very famous footballer, Queensland, Broncos, Australia, played for all of that. He is a Leyburn local. I grew up with him. He purchased the woolshed from that area, that locality is called Ellengowan. And he purchased the woolshed. It's 101 years old. I think, 101, 1925, I'm pretty sure. And it was purchased from the property next door. And as a fun fact, I actually used to do rouseabouting in that woolshed when I was a kid. Yeah.
See, this is what we came here to find out.
Give me a fleece and I'll throw it for you.
Really?
Yes.
I can throw down on the racetrack, in the woolshed.
Yeah, and chasing sheep around and getting head-butted by rams, and it's all good fun. So so it's always fun. It could actually still a functional woolshed. If you wanted to, you could remove all the tables and chairs and put a few sheep through. But so he's shifted it up to his place, and it's now an approved event centre, a function centre, I should say. And he's had, doing for weddings and stuff like that. He's done a fantastic job. Huge, it's beautiful. So we're actually having what we call on a Thursday night of the sprints called Night with the Stars, Under the Stars. where all of our VIP drivers will be. We're having a celebrity MC there who is named by John Connolly. He writes for the Australian newspaper. He's a journalist for them, or like a weekend journalist. And he's quite an amusing guy. So we're going to be doing that. We're going to be doing interviews with the drivers, all that sort of stuff. It's going to be canapes, and it's a 4.5 hour food and beverage package. It starts at 5:30. There'll be a free bus going from Leyburn out to there. And anyone can come. Tickets are available online. So you just have to look up our website and you can spot the tickets there. It's going to be fantastic. So it runs from 5:30 till 10:30. So a bit of an early finish, but everyone's got to get up and sort their race cars out, right?
You don't want to go too late.
No. Nothing good happens after midnight.
No, because that could spiral out of control pretty quickly.
So we're going to have Leyburn, as an aside, a little bit. I like deviation as well.
Let's go.
Yeah. Leyburn is actually very famous for its night skies.
Right.
Yeah. So it's actually, if you Google Leyburn and stargazing and astronomy and whatnot, you'll see it's actually...
Really?
Yeah, it's very, very high rated.
Bring your telescope.
Yes, so there actually used to be a little observatory north of Leyburn. Years ago, I remember when I was a kid back in the 80s, it was actually quite busy, as in there was camping groups that go out and they'd stargaze all night and do their astronomy stuff.
Mate, the things we did before we just stared at our phones.
And that's why I said, and because obviously we're away from... Obviously, the harsh lights of Brisbane. We're away for harsh lights of Toowoomba, Leyburn. Yes, we have electricity at Leyburn, but we don't. It's only a small town, so it's not going to affect the night sky too much.
Don't get that same sort of
that's right.
pollution.
Exactly. And so that's why it was actually, I thought of that name because Night with the Stars, Under the Stars, because we are so well known. So now it's just fingers crossed that it's a clear night. We've got a big bonfire going on, the whole lot.
So it sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Oh, far out. It really is such a big thing that you put on here, and it's such an extraordinary amount of effort. How many people did you say are on this committee?
I have to count now. It's 13 or 14.
13 or 14 people.
Yeah.
And they've all been involved for reasonable amounts of time
We've actually got a few new committee members this year. Couple of new committee members, but just people who are passionate about the event. Like, not all of them they all enjoy motorsport, obviously, but they're not... there's only 3 or 4 of us that actually race cars. The rest are community-minded, love the event, want to be there.
And just want to see it.
It's a good mix.
So I guess the question I'm probably leading to there is, is there a younger audience coming through?
Yeah, there is actually.
And starting to build this momentum?
Yeah, there is. In terms of, committee, I remember my dad years ago having a big stress because, everyone was getting older, and I was the youngest on the committee at the time, and now I'm not the youngest. So that's good. But, I always said to Dad at the time, don't stress, we'll be right. And, we just attracting more young people coming through and helping. In terms of the actual competitors, there is definitely younger people coming through. And we also promote that by having a junior competition. So we've got nine people competing this year. We give them half-price entry. And they actually compete, there's a few rules around it. They've got to be maximum 2 litre and it's got to be normally aspirated. And they can compete within their group, within their class for their first, second, third placings. So they can do that, but they also go towards a memorial trophy, which is actually based on what we call a regularity trial. So if you're not sure how regularity works, it's where they all get a run first thing Saturday morning, call it like a specky type run. They'll go around, they'll get their time, they'll look at their time, and they'll say they got 56 seconds on their first run out. So if they look at that and they go, well, I reckon I could actually do a bit better than that, they'll nominate, say, 54 seconds. So they'll go out and do another run within, as the runs go through, and then they'll come back and say if they nominated 54 but they end up doing 53 or 55 or whatever, they'll get penalised for that. So you actually start with 0 points and you then lose points. So you go into the negative, basically, for every quarter, half second. No, 10th of a second. I think it's 10th. I have to look up the rules again. But 10th of a second under or over your nominated time. So it's about consistency. And so we've got 9 juniors entered this year. So they run for winning the Memorial Trophy, which is actually my mum and dad's honour. So Mike and Ann Collins Memorial Junior Trophy. We've got sponsors on board that give them sample bags. There's cash prizes. There's all sorts of stuff. So it's really good. So we want to encourage a new generation. So,
Because I think that's something that's also really important, especially with historics and classics, and finding that audience to carry these things forward.
yes,
One of the things that my old boy talks about, because he's nearly pushing 80, and he's involved in a couple of car clubs, and he's like, "There's no young people."
yeah.
And I'm like, "Well, it's mainly because we don't have any free time." But there is very much sort of an ageing audience. So I guess I'm interested to understand, just how that's coming through. But that's something that you guys are actively.
Well, yeah, that's right. We are actively, and I think it's just having that appeal. And no disrespect to some of these car clubs, but it's about how they market themselves and try to appeal to that younger audience. I think is where there's actually a guy that I know did a survey a couple of months ago, and he rang me up and asked me for my opinion on a range of questions and whatever, and did a survey as to how we can get these more people coming through motor racing, and particularly younger people. And I think the two main things that stand out, particularly for historic racing, one is money, and two is the perception that it's for old people. So if we can get away from that, which we're trying to do, and I think we're doing a pretty good job of it at Leyburn, I think that's how you got to do it. So it's all about marketing, right? It's all about socials.
And
I don't do TikTok, but
don't do TikTok. That's all right.
I know. But I do Facebook, but I don't know Facebook's for old people.
I'm so comfortable with that now. People keep telling me that, and I'm like, "That's good."
Yeah, I know.
I'll
stick with Facebook. That's fine.
Okay
I have an Instagram account where I look at, I don't know, once a quarter. 3 monthly, I'm talking about. Not.
And honestly, that's okay too. That's why we need social media people.
That's right.
We need younger people who enjoy such things to help us do these.
Exactly right. Stuff that I don't.
Because it all starts getting a little bit too hard.
Yeah.
And the future of Leyburn Sprints. Is there a vision from the committee? I have to assume, as associated organisation, is there sort of a vision that underpins everything that's being done?
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, in a long or short to medium term, it's keep running what we're doing, getting better every year. I always say, as long as I've got the support of the community and I'm on the right side of the grass, I'll be running. I'll be there. With the sprints will be running. Ultimately, what we would like to look at is having something in place like a museum or something that we could actually have. That was my dad's, was his vision as well, was to have something permanent that will celebrate the history of the town and of the racing and all that sort of stuff. So we do have a small museum now at the RSL, which people can go and look at, especially on Leyburn weekend. They can go and have a look at it, at Sprints weekend, I mean. But yeah, that would be my ultimate goal, we have something like that. So
it needs its own little place, its own little... Sorry, I'm really actually just enjoying understanding all of these things, and I guess getting to know. Because I think the other part about these sorts of things is they can feel... potentially like it'll be a bit cliquey, or not something you could just turn up and say g'day if you've never been to these sorts of things or you're not involved in this world. And I guess understanding what it's like for people, how they can, I don't know.
Well, I think actually, in saying that, Leyburn is perfect for those who it's their first time with motorsport, or they want to find out more. We do a survey every year, right? It's run by, and because we get money from Tourism Events Queensland, there's a third party that actually run a survey for us. And every year, so obviously it goes through a range of questions, all that sort of stuff. And then, they provide us with a really thick document of all the comments people have made. And time again, you see the comments made of, I've never seen that kind of car before. I've never been able to be that close to that car before. I've never been able to talk to a race driver like I have been able to at Leyburn. So people absolutely love it. You go to the supercars, only if you've got a very, very special ticket can you walk into the garage, right? You can walk past the back and peer over the yellow chain, but you can't go anywhere near it. Whereas Leyburn, walk amongst the pits, chat to the drivers, chat to the pit crew, stick your head under the bonnet, look inside the car, everything, and everyone loves it when they come and they want to talk about their car. They love it, and it's what it is. So we're very, very open.
And I find is something I have friends that go, oh, you know, I want to go to the racetrack, not really sure what to do. Would you mind coming with me? It's that sort of thing where there is a genuine perceived barrier there.
Yeah,
So for people to know that it is something you can just rock up
absolutely.
and say, g'day,
Absolutely.
and then you'd be like...
The more the merrier. People
Yeah.
love it. Everyone loves showing their cars off.
And where do people stay? Like, where do you... Because what are the numbers that you get? What like
So over
grows to what?
Yeah, so, I mean, technically the event's 2 days, Saturday, Sunday. Yes, people are coming earlier and earlier, but for the terms of figures, we only count those 2 days. So over a Saturday and Sunday, we get around 18,000 people. Around 4,000 to 5,000 of those are camping. And so there is next to no accommodation in Leyburn. At the rest of the time, rest of the year, there's, I think, 5 cabins at the pub. But I always joke that for the Leyburn Sprints, you have to be one of those things where someone has to die before you get on the list.
I'll bet.
Yeah, so there's 5 cabins there. There's a couple of Airbnbs. And it's always booked out, like during the year. You know what I mean? I mean, not always, but we're very, very busy, right? So it's a very busy town. Like, people can't believe it. Because we got an Airbnb there and people ask me, it's like, oh, so how busy are you? I was like, I'm back to back. You know, I've actually got no one in there right today, but majority of the time we're, you know, probably 80% occupancy. So, but over the course of the weekend, I had the house to myself because I got all our family, friends, all that sort of stuff. Over the course of the weekend, yes, if you got into one of those cabins 20 years ago, you're good to go. Otherwise, no hope. And then we have a number of different camping grounds with around about 1,000 campsites in total.
Far out.
Yeah, 4,000 to 5,000 people probably camp. And then the rest are day trippers, or they go back to Warwick or Toowoomba, Clifton, Pittsworth, that sort of thing.
Because that was what I was wondering. It's a fair chunk of infrastructure.
Very much so.
To get that many people.
We're paying over 60 grand for toilets and showers.
Because again, but the basics, yeah, water, toilets, showers.
Yeah.
Yeah, far out.
Yeah.
Because that's the sort of logistics that I'm sort of sitting there going, hang on, well, if the town's not that big, where do you put everybody? Like, so you just, bring a swag, bring a caravan, bring a bloody anything.
People bring a swag and then they don't realise how cold it gets.
Oh, stitch up.
Yeah, but that's all right. I got my nice warm bed, I'm fine.
What's the pro tip there? How cold's it getting at night?
It can get into minus.
Oh,
Pro
spicy.
tip, do not bring an airbed.
Oh, really?
Learnt that 1 year. Yeah. We were inside the house on an airbed, and my husband and I, my back was that sore from being frozen. Because the air inside the airbed gets so cold.
Ooh.
I never thought of that before, did I? So no, don't bring an airbed. I recommend against that.
Sensible.
Bring lots of warm gear. Bring a fire. Bring
Blankets.
Yep. So you're allowed blankets. Of course you're allowed blankets.
Yeah.
You're allowed campfires.
Yeah,
so
right.
everyone loves sitting around with a beer and a campfire.
Who doesn't?
That's right.
And is there still camping room, or is it?
Yeah,
chockers?
so our main areas, which is called the Recreation Reserve, that's completely sold out. That was sold out ages ago. We got a premium area, which is only 32 sites, which is toilets, yes. Water and power is available there. They're completely sold out, and they're one of those ones that you probably have to someone has to die to get on the list.
Absolutely, like any good campground at Christmas, where it's a generational spot.
Yeah, exactly. So we have a new camping ground this year called Thorny View Camping. It's selling out pretty fast. So, and then we also have a number of private properties that offer camping as well.
Oh,
so,
terrific.
Yeah, if anyone wants to, if you just jump on our website and go to the camping tab, you'll see the Thorny View Camping, and then underneath it you'll see other camping options. Get in and grab one ASAP if you want to come out.
So you can still get a sneaky one. So even when you're listening to this,
you can still get a sneaky one. But
you can just go, do you know what? I'm going to give it a go.
Yeah. So and I still get people rock up to the campgrounds. Can I get a campsite? And the scouts from Warwick, they run our campgrounds for us. They're pretty good. They usually find a little nook.
They'll find a way.
Yeah, find a little squeeze in here.
That sounds like what the scouts would do. They'd figure it out, wouldn't they?
That's right. And again, look, go back to the cost-effective stuff. It's $85 for a site. Not per person, not per night. It's $85 for the site. That gets you from Wednesday to Monday. So you can stay for all the time, or you can stay for 2 nights, 3 nights, whatever you want. Any combination of the above, $85.
That's the best value camping anywhere I've stayed in Australia.
That's right. And Thorny View is not walking distance, but all the other campgrounds are walking distance. We've got a courtesy bus running from Thorny View.
And so that's why the courtesy bus is so important, because like the on-site parking, do you sort of leave your car?
Yeah, there's all parking around on the streets, but yeah, it gets bloody busy, very busy. Yeah, so there'll be a courtesy bus running back and forth, and I've just had a meeting this morning with they're the Leyburn men's sheds running that, so I just had a meeting with the president this morning about that, and they
got that ready to roll, polished up here in the tyres. Hopefully some terrible jokes.
Hope so.
I would expect, if it's the men's shed, if there aren't some bad dad jokes on that, I would actually be very disappointed.
Yeah.
I still can't believe that, like, you're 7 days out.
I know.
From setting the
Me
thing
neither.
up.
Tell me about it.
And I'm probably conscious of holding you for too long, because this is one of those things where I'm just grateful to sit down and have a chat with you about all this, because I just think this is bloody great. But in terms of selling this event, like telling somebody who's never been before, doesn't understand it, really doesn't get it, what's your pitch? What do you say?
Well, I just don't think you can get the range of vehicles, the historicness of the vehicles that we have all in one place for such a cheap price to go and actually visit as a family. Children under 14 are free, $30 a day for adults or $40 for the weekend. It's a great day out. We don't have the restrictions like no food. You can bring your own picnic if you want. It's not just the racing on the track. You have so much variety to go see and do. You can come and camp. Whilst we are busier and bigger each year, we are grassroots at heart, and that is pretty evident as soon as you walk in through the gate. And I just don't think you'd probably find a better festival for motor racing anywhere.
I'm pretty keen to test that theory, because this will be my first one.
Perfect.
So
I'll give you the grand tour.
I look forward to the grand tour, because my old boy was going when I was much younger.
Okay.
And he said to me, he's like, "Oh, do you want to come out?" And again, I was a bit too young, and it just didn't.
It was like, no.
I'm like,
I'll be bunch of old farts running around the track.
I'll be right, mate. Yeah. And it wasn't that I didn't want to; it was just felt like a lot of effort. But,
Yeah.
Here I am, a couple of decades later.
Well, if your dad hasn't been for a couple of decades, it's vastly different now. Again, like I said, still so much grassroots at heart, and just a bit more polished, I suppose, and bigger and better every year.
Well, that's it. He was there in your early days.
Yeah.
He'd go out with his mates.
Yep.
And a couple of nights.
Yep.
In the swags,
Yes.
couple of beers.
There's still all of that. Still all of that. Campgrounds, campfires, everyone's sitting around. You've got people that don't see each other for a whole year, and they catch up again because they're parked next to each other. And, you can come up to the pub or your RSL for some dinner, for some live music, go to live auction, or you can just go back and sit around and tell some lies around the campfire.
Absolutely.
Or do both. Go to the pub, then go back.
do all of them. And there was also a little yellow car, something going on there.
Yeah.
Do you want to share that? Because you guys do a lot of good things, and you seem to do them,
Not half-heartedly.
No. Do you want to tell me a bit about that?
Yeah, so we've got a yellow RS 2000 Escort Mark II 1979. It's actually all matching, genuine RS 2000. It's actually 4-door, not 2-door. And a 4-door variant was only available in Australia, and it's actually quite rare. There's actually less 4-doors made than 2-doors, so it's actually quite a rare car. It was actually my dad's, so he had it for a number of years. He didn't really race it that often, but he liked to collect race cars, and then they were in shed. So anyway, after he passed away, a family friend of ours bought it off us, and he did a little bit of work to it, just a bit of work on the brakes and a couple of electrical things and whatever. And then he decided that he wanted to do something for the Sprints, and he donated it to the Sprints. So what we've done is we've done a refurbishment of it, new paint job, new interior, well not all new, but new carpet, new hood lining, new dash, parcel tray, all that kind of stuff, seat belts, all that sort of thing, and we're doing just a bit of work to the engine, not pull down or anything like that, but just some tuning and some stuff. Like I said, it's matching numbers. And Gray's Online have come on as a platinum sponsor, and they are auctioning that car off through Gray's. So as of right now, it started on Friday, I think. Yes, Friday. And it closes Saturday night of the sprint, so 7:30 p.m. on Saturday the 15th. And at the moment, it's up to a bit over $12,000 bidding.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I have a reserve on it, which I won't say what it is. But anyway, I have a reserve on it. But, I think we'll definitely beat the reserve, and I think it'll be on sale. But it's generating a huge amount of interest, so it'll be really exciting to see. And we know what happens with those those online auctions, get the last couple of hours, it goes ballistic.
Can get a bit wild, but
It
also
can get a bit wild.
I've seen that car with my own eyes.
Yep.
That is a damn cool car.
It is a very cool car.
That is very cool. Like, there was one...
I was trying to work out how I can buy it back.
Yeah,
But
that could
anyway.
get difficult. But that money as well, like you're
Yeah.
doing good things
So
with
yeah,
that
that's
too.
cool. Majority of that is going to go to, obviously we're putting some money out for what the work we've done to it, and the other money is going to the community benefit fund. So we have a Historic Leyburn Sprints community benefit fund, and basically it's just another bank account that we have that from a variety of different ways we raise funds, and a majority of that is through the Saturday night auction that we have live at the pub every Saturday night. So that's separate to the Greys one, right? But we're timing it so the Greys one finishes basically the same time as the auction is on. And so money goes into there, and then anyone in the community, or any community group I should say, in the community can come to us and say, hey, we've got this idea, we've got this project, we would like 1,000, 5,000, 2,000, whatever, that, can we have whatever. So anyway, so they just there's no strict guidelines, there's no paperwork to fill out. Hey, pitch us with an idea, we'll take the committee, we'll see if we like it, and I always tell people we've never rejected one yet. So we've helped a CWA haul out with a new oven, new dishwasher. We've helped them finish off some disabled toilets that they've had installed. We've given money to the Historical Society because they purchased a heap of digitising equipment, scanners and computers and stuff. But we also, every year, apart from the money that the community groups make from running the rubbish, running the gates, running the campgrounds, all that sort of thing, we have 8 community groups around Leyburn that we also donate additional funds to every year from that community benefit fund. They don't need to have a reason, we just donate it. But then, so they also, on top of that, come to us with an idea that you want, that you need a bit of money for, we'll consider it, and like I said, haven't rejected one yet, so you've got a pretty good chance.
That's pretty special.
Yeah.
There's a lot of heart in this thing, isn't there?
Yeah, there is, for sure. Absolutely. And like years ago, we used to do like a national charity, like the Breast Cancer Foundation, or or Daffodil Day, or one of those those sort of big charities. And I've got my own concerns and things about those big charities and how much money is actually going to the research and whatever is going on. So, and I'm always of the old saying, charity starts at home. So we decided we sort of pivoted away from those big national charities, and we went to more homegrown community groups and stuff. So we were partnering with community groups and stuff like that to raise money for them. And then it was about, I think, probably 5 years ago, maybe, I can't remember now, I said, well, how about instead of that, how about we just start this fund?
Yeah.
And everything from that pours into that bank account.
Yeah.
And then it's sitting there for whatever we want to use it for community projects.
And then you can just help.
Yeah, exactly.
And literally help the people
Exactly.
that help you.
That's right.
And
Yep.
like, that's the whole point of the
Yep.
whole exercise, isn't
Exactly. And I mean, and I should say, one of the things that we donated to quite a few years ago was the Progress Association, so which I'm the president of. But anyway, so we've had the Leyburn Progress Association off and on over the years. Have a few people interested, then it kind of falls apart, whatever. I think 3 years ago, maybe 3-4 years ago, we restarted the Leyburn Progress Association. We've worked with council on a range of projects. One of their biggest feather in our cap is the tennis courts rejuvenation into a community park. But we actually donated the money to help the organisation on its feet, because obviously opened a organisation with $0 in the bank, and so we needed some funds for insurance and all that sort of stuff. So we donated a heap into that to start that. And talking about helping people and whatnot, we now established within that Progress Association, just goes to show the community spirit in Leyburn, we have what they call it's very similar titles, Community Health Benefit Fund. So what it is, it's just for people who are doing it tough, particularly older people, if they have to come to Toowoomba or something for treatment, are short of funds and whatnot. It's not meant to be like we'll pay for everything. It's only a small amount, but it's just something that goes to helping that person pay for some fuel, pay for some groceries, whatever.
Take the edge off.
So I always say that I think Leyburn's very, very generous in that kind of manner. So so we've got the Leyburn Community Benefit Fund with the Sprints, and we've got the Community Health Benefit Fund with the Progress Association.
But that's really lovely to be looking after the community.
Yeah.
In that, and as you said, directly.
Yeah.
Because it's wonderful to sort of be doing bigger things as well, but that charity begins at home.
Yeah.
Because how big is the population of Leyburn? Do you know?
About
that off the top of
400
your head?
people.
Yeah, so it's not a massive number of people.
No.
And it's
But, you're talking about community, and I could go on all day, but talking about supporting community, the Leyburn pub has their raffles every Friday night, and Jag the Joker. It's up to like $8,000 or something at the moment. Should really be there Friday night. But anyway, every week, I think there's about 8 groups at the roster. So it's, every week is a different group. So the sprints don't actually do an evening because we are quite a big organisation anyway. So we've got the Progress Association, Historical Association, CWA, RSL, all that. We take turns in running the raffles. And so there's 4 raffles plus the Jag the Joker. And it's nothing like last Friday night was the Progress Association's turn, and a couple of committee members, I couldn't be out there, but a couple of committee members went and did it. They raised over $1,500 in the raffles. And I say, you go into Toowoomba, you go to a pub in Toowoomba, and there's someone walking around with a meat tray, you might give them $5, maybe 10. Leyburn, here's 50 and come back in half an hour and I'll give you another 50. It's that kind of town. It's just, So it's like a little competition now.
just looking after each other.
Yeah, it's like a little competition now. See who can raise the most money on a Friday night.
Look at that good old-fashioned community spirit. Hey, who would have thought that you'd be winning me over with that kind of charm?
Yeah, that's right.
That's really, honestly, it's really quite special.
Yeah.
And anything else that you've sort of got fired up for?
Don't know. Just
Any little surprises that we don't know about yet?
not that I can. Oh, it probably is, but I can't think of it.
Can't think of them.
We got a
So many
campground. We got a
things.
campground competition.
Oh, really? Tell me about that.
So it's been going for a couple of years. So dress up your campground. We go around on a Friday. Whatever theme you like, but obviously a motor racing theme is always pretty good. We go for a cruise around at the campgrounds on a Friday. We check them all out, and we go and think, right, that's really fantastic. So they'll have and been running to win prizes. In this year, first prize consists of a few things, but 2 of the big ones is 4 VIP passes to the sprints. So that gets you into our corporate area on a Saturday and Sunday. So 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. each day, you've got free alcohol and free food. So that's always a really big winner. But we've also been given supercar passes. So Ipswich 440 is on the very next weekend. So I emailed them the other day and hit them up, and they said yes. So they've given us a bunch of supercar passes so people can go to Ipswich the following weekend and enjoy that. So the campground competition is a bit of fun, and it's growing slowly each year. But
They're the sorts of shenanigans that I like.
I
I
know.
think that's wonderful.
it's fun going for a cruise around. I get some of the committee members, they go for a cruise around, they come back and tell me what they think they should win, then they get me to go down and we go and do the
And you go and
prizes.
figure it out.
Yeah.
Oh, what a river.
Yeah.
Well, look, I'm gonna let you go because
Okay.
I do think that we need to get you back.
That's
out,
all good, yeah.
Getting this
Probably
community.
emails are pouring in, but yeah.
Oh, I could only imagine. For people who want to know more,
Yep.
where do they need to go? What do they need to do?
For all the information like booking camping, you can book tickets online. You can also just get tickets at the gate, cash and card, old school. I'll never, as far as I can tell, get rid of cash option. Right.
Let's
So
go.
cash and card at the gate or online. Camping, you may be able to get some when you get there, but I do recommend strongly you book online. So go to our website, which is just www.historicleyburn.sprints.com.au, but also follow us on Facebook and Instagram. But Facebook is where you'll get the most up-to-date information available. So just jump on Facebook, search Historic Leyburn Sprints and follow us.
Well, I am particularly excited
That's good.
about next week. Makes me feel like I should take the whole week off.
Yeah, well, why not?
Go
Come and help me.
Go and join the other troublemakers.
I'll give you the Leyburn phone for a while and you can answer it.
Oof, that could be dangerous. I go, hi, this is the least helpful person here. How may I not assist you? Thank you for taking the time to sit
No
down
worries.
with me.
Thanks for coming up.
And just and again, just share a bit of the magic and all the hard work that goes on.
Yep.
To bring this event to life once a year.
Yep. Thank you very much.
Oh well, Tricia, thank you, and for everybody who is listening, thank you for joining us for another episode of the All Right Everything podcast. We will catch you next time.